Well, these messages were approved then by the local bishop and examined, and also the local bishop consulted at that time the congregation of the Doctrine of Faith, and there was nothing against formulated, and therefore we can assume that these messages given by Our Lady to Sister Agnes are authentic. The main content is there, of course, very topical, because the crisis within the church, the crisis of the faith, and God gives us messages or some supernatural signs for the church in time of crisis, and God gives us those means of help for the church, spiritual help, which the church is needing at that time mostly, and which is corresponding to the specific characteristic of the crisis of the church. And this was and still is the crisis of faith within the church, the great confusion within the church regarding doctrine, and the disunity between priests, bishops, and so on. This is so evident. What Our Lady spoke to Sister Agnes of, that these contrasts and these attitudes contrary between priests, between bishops, between cardinals even, it is today, since decades, I would say, openly before the eyes of all. It's not a mystery. And in this sense, we can consider these messages still relevant for our time. And these messages are not for our curiosity, but to give us this desire to do acts of reparation for this crisis, for this situation, to pray earnestly, seriously to God that He may intervene in this huge confusion within the church, within the clergy, within the bishops, the confusion which is reigning even in the Holy See, with some concrete actions and words and affirmations at the top of the church. This we should pray to Our Lady, to her intercession, the holy angels, to intervene, to bring us again the unity. First in the top, that the Pope will unify all the bishops and cardinals. This is so important. And then from the Pope, this unity will spread in the cardinals and the bishops and the priests, because we are a hierarchy. And as our Lord said in the Holy Scripture, struck the shepherd and all the sheep will be dispersed, will be and so the same situation we have today. The enemy of the church hit the shepherd, and so we have this confusion on all levels. Therefore, I consider the message of Akita important to continue with more zeal, with more trust, with more faith, with more zeal of penance, reparation spirit, to implore this divine intervention in the church, that God may grant us again very clear, courageous, 100% Catholic popes, cardinals, bishops, and priests.